Hello and welcome to episode 19 of the Creative Naturally podcast. My name is Bex and I'm an English gal living here in just outside of Melbourne, Australia. It's summertime here and it's actually quite a cool morning this morning, which is really nice. It's been pretty toasty. So yeah, I'm just sitting in the garden room and there's lots of birds flying around, having little baths. I think you can probably hear them. Anyway, so you can find me on Instagram as Bex_in_real_life, and you can also follow along on my adventures here on YouTube and comment below the videos. We have a Ravelry group under the Creative Naturally podcast tab, and yeah, it's lovely to be with you guys. I feel a bit scatterbrained today. I don't have any notes with me. So I am drinking some organic rosehip tea in this really beautiful mug that we got for my partner Tom's dad when we were back in Wales visiting my dad. And it's this beautiful hand-thrown mug. I love it. I love all of these little lines that you can see made by the potter's hands. Super cool. So I've got some exciting things to share with you guys today. I've got some yarny acquisitions and some finished objects and some works in progress as well. So yeah, where shall I start? I guess I'll start with yarny acquisitions because some of them are being used already. So I received a really exciting package from an amazing indie dyer from Australia. I think she's based out of New South Wales, called Fibre Revolution. And yeah, I've been considering designing with her yarn, and she's got some really beautiful colours that kind of fit in with my kind of colour scheme that I really enjoy creating with. So I received a really exciting parcel. I'm just going to try and see if I've got the other label with me. Don't think I do. Excuse the crackle. Okay, so one of them's balled up already because I'm working with it at the moment, but this is her label just here. It's Fibre Revolution, and she is fibrerevolution.etsy.com, and this here is so beautiful. This is naturally dyed, and it's a really gorgeous kind of purpley grey tone. If you can hear that bird, it's a sulphur crested cockatoo, and they are so loud and they have the most horrible call ever, so apologies in advance if they all fly over the house. Anyway, this is a wool bamboo silk blend and I have plans of making socks with it. I'm hoping that the bamboo will give strength enough, because I really want to try creating socks with 100% natural fibres if I can. And yeah, this is not superwash either. So it's a 85 wool, 10 bamboo, 5 silk, and it's called the Coral Reef Silky Merino. And this is in the Ashes colourway. So I've got a design that I'm going to be creating with this yarn, and I'm so excited. And there's 398 metres on here. It looks a lot bigger than it is. It's quite kind of loosely plied, if you can see there. Yeah, it's a good size 4-ply, I reckon, and I'm really excited to see how it knits up. It's a little bit fluffy, so I'm a little bit worried that there won't be such good stitch definition for the lace pattern I'm planning on, but we shall see. I'm thinking it'll probably be okay. The second skein has already been hand wound, and this is the colour here. I'm trying to remember what the base was for this one. It's her sock base, I think, so I think it's a superwash I thought I bought the label, but obviously not. It's a superwash, I'm pretty sure, and it's got some nylon in there by the feel of things. But it's so beautiful. It's kind of this really burnt, kind of corally orange tone with kind of almost some purple undertones, kind of brown undertones. It's very, very pretty. I don't know. I think you're getting an idea of what it looks like. Maybe a little bit more corally than it's coming up. And yeah, this is my final colour for the Find Your Fade shawl that I will show you in a little bit. But it was just the perfect final colour. I was so happy to find it. Sorry, I've got hay fever this year, so I'm a bit sniffly. The second Yarny acquisition that I received was I had a trip to... Ooh, crinkly crinkles. I had a trip to Melbourne recently, and I went into my old work, Morris & Sons, and Sophie, who works there, who's a dear friend of mine, she's the dyer behind Grumpy Hedgehogs, which is it's her Project Keeper, stitch marker and yarn business, and she's such an amazing indie dyer. She's awesome. I'm trying to get her to I want her to be big and famous, so she gets to give everybody lots of yarn. But I'm kind of doing a collaboration with her, and one of the next things that's going to be on my needles is a new design project with this beautiful, beautiful yarn. It's a very cornflowery blue. It's coming up kind of bluer than it actually is. It's got a bit more of a purple tone. It's a bit more true to life here. And this is on a, what did she say it was? It was a merino and silk blend, but the silk is... Ooh, it's completely gone. I'll write it down here. It's mulberry silk. So it's got this really beautiful kind of, not linen-y, it's very, very soft, but it's got a really interesting texture to it. And it will make the most amazing shawl. It's unbelievably soft, but it's definitely got an interesting feel to it. It's lovely, very luxurious, and just the way that it's taken the dye is just amazing. So it's a real kind of tonal yarn, and I can't wait to design with it. Super. So yeah, as I was saying, this is going to be my first ever shawl design, and I have a really clear idea of what this is going to become, which is amazing. And the colour just fits perfectly. I sent a floral wildflower picture to Sophie, and she to get this blue, and she just went with it. It was so perfect. I was really excited when I picked it up. So I am desperate to get cracking on this design. I'm really excited, and yeah, so that's going to be probably on my needles very soon. So I think that is all of my Yarny acquisitions. Yeah. Oh, I had also something else to show you. I had, so it was my birthday on the 7th of January, and I was 29, and my amazing brother-in-love, so my boyfriend's brother and his partner, George, they made me these awesome sock blockers, which is so, so exciting. So yeah, they've all been kind of hand turned and everything, and it's not hand turned, hand carved, and they fit perfectly. So no more sock hand, which is amazing. This is my first ever pattern that I designed, the silver birch socks, and so they've been living on here and giving me confidence and inspiration. But yeah, I am so happy with these sock blockers. So this is them, and they've got really kind of rounded edges, which is nice, and they're very nice and plain, so when I'm showing you guys new sock projects, they won't kind of distract. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with those. So no more sock hand. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys what I've been knitting the last couple of weeks. I've been really pushing myself with designing recently. It was one of my kind of, not resolutions, I don't really do resolutions, but something that I was really hoping for in the new year. Yeah, it's very easy to lose confidence in ourselves as makers and our abilities, and I hear a lot from lots of other makers and designers as well that they can be in their own way when it comes to putting themselves out there and designing and creating things, and I know that I certainly do that, and my natural stance can be to not think I'm good enough, so I've just been pushing myself and just going for it and seeing what happens, and really just seeing that what's the worst that can happen. Even if I make a mistake in a knitting pattern, people will let me know and I'll rectify that mistake. Like, that's the worst that can happen. So and that happens all the time. So many patterns have mistakes in them, and you just contact the designer and then they fix them. And so what have I got to be scared about? And so yeah, that's what I've been doing. So you'll be seeing a lot more designs coming out, which you would have noticed already, I presume. My Instagram feed is full of my new designs. So I've got some designs that I have been working on. I guess I'll show you guys those first. There's the label that I was trying to find. So the pinky kind of orangey yarn from Fibre Revolution, it's called Ironbark, and it's Down Under Bliss, so it's superwash merino and nylon blend, 410 meters. Okay, so living in my gorgeous Maker project bag. These are made by my amazing friend Em, and this one is a Rifle Paper Co. Fabric, kind of linen fabric with a hot pink lining, and it's got a matching little accessories pouch. So in here is some new designs that I've been working on. So I started off with a few different samples of stitch patterns that I'd found. This one is a really beautiful little kind of eyelet leaf design. It's kind of hard to see. So it's got these little eyelet kind of leaves in between. And then this one is branches, kind of twisted stitch, faux cable, I guess you'd call it. Which I really love. I've seen being used quite a few times by the designers, and I really love this kind of little detail. It's beautiful, and it's very simple to create as well. And I had to do some kind of fudging to get it to work within the pattern, so I've kind of changed it around a little bit. But yeah, these are where everything kind of stemmed from. And I actually have a final design that's being test knit at the moment. And this is the Falling Leaves cowl. You would have seen, I showed it to you guys in a little mini video. And this is knit out of White Gum Wool Ethical Tasmanian Merino in their 4-ply merino in the gum grey colourway, which I absolutely love. And it just shows the stitches perfectly. So yeah, this has got a rolled picot hem and also a rolled picot cuff with an I-cord and these little leafy details here. And then it's got the leaf lace and the branches. That's same again. And I'll just show you what it looks like. when it's on. So funny wearing this with a summer dress on. So the thing that I love about the Pico hem is that it kind of, because it's so stretchy at the bottom, it really sits, it's circular, it kind of flutes out. And then this section here you can cinch up so that you keep your neck really nice and warm, and you can even tie this if you wanted to, but it sits really nicely like this as well. So it's kind of like a glorified turtleneck jumper, if you will, and it just sits really nicely under jackets and coats and keeps you all toasty. And there is some kind of holes in there, but it's actually really quite toasty warm because it's on a relatively small gauge. But yeah, I just love it. I love it so much. I'm really happy with this design. So this is the Falling Leaves cowl. Put my shawlie back on. Ooh, it's a bit chilly. So this is the Falling Leaves cowl, and the pattern will be out as soon as it's all written up. I just am in the process of getting it test knit at the moment. I've got, I think, 5 really awesome test knitters who are working on it, and yeah, I can't wait to see what it looks like in the colours that they're choosing. But I'm very, very happy with this. It really pushed my boundaries, and I learned some new techniques, which is awesome. And I just love these little leaves. They're so sweet. Super cute. And the great thing about this as well is I kind of sketched it when I was at work, and I was really bored doing retail, and I just kind of had this moment of inspiration and I sketched it out, and it pretty much looks exactly how I had sketched originally, just on a piece of plain paper, which was really cool. And I had always planned, I'm going to take a sip. I'd always planned to make a matching pair of fingerless mittens to go with this, and I wanted something which was kind of a transitioning season piece. So this isn't crazy thick, or I mean it's really toasty warm, but you'd be able to wear it in spring and autumn. It's perfect for Australia and New Zealand kind of weather. And so I wanted a pair of fingerless mitts to go with it. So I've finished the first sample. There's still loads of ends everywhere and they haven't been blocked. But this is the number one of the Little Branches mittens. And I really wanted to create a simple mitten, but to incorporate parts of this pattern so that they work together. So as you can see, I've used the twisted stitch and eyelet panel from here, and I've also done a smaller version of the rolled hem and just incorporated some garter stitch here as well in the round, and I'm just so happy with how they came out. And this is all, so it stemmed from this want to work with ethical producers, and so White Gum Wool's yarn is so beautiful, and it's got like 476 meters or something on it, and for a 100-gram ball, and it works out, I think it's $27 for 100 grams, which when you're on the website can seem quite expensive for yarn, I guess. That was my first thought process, but then I realised that she does free shipping, and also kind of looked into the backstory of the kind of shepherding that she does with her flock, and just how the animals are kept within family groups and so well taken care of. And I realised that one of the aims that I really want with this piece is just to see what I can make out of one ball of yarn, just to open up this yarn and other kind of higher price point, I guess, though it's not really, but like higher price point yarns to people, so they can see actually what they can create from one ball, because, you know, a jumper's quantity would be really quite expensive. So this used 70 grams, I think, just under 68 grams of white gum wool for this cowl. And this, so I had around about 32 grams left that I was going to be making fingerless mitts with, and I really didn't know how far that would go. So if you can see here, I'm on the second mitt at the moment, and I have, this is what the leftovers, half of the leftovers looks like. So a ball like this made this, and I'm pretty much going to be using 90 grams of this yarn in total for the cowl and the fingerless mitts. I had maybe 5 grams left over from the little ball, and I wanted to push it as much as I could to use up all of the ends whilst also giving leeway for people for tension differences and things like that. And it's just like, it just blows my mind what you can create from 100-gram ball of yarn. Absolutely amazing. So I'm going to have a pair of these guys and one of these out of 100 grams of white gum wool. And yeah, I'm just completely in love with the pattern. I love how this kind of flutes out. It kind of really reminds me almost of a Victorian fashion, if you will. And I love how it sits. This is unblocked. I love how it sits. It's the first time I had to work out the maths for creating the thumb gusset, and I'm really happy with that. Sits really nicely, and there's lots of kind of space there to move. And yeah, I think they'll keep my hands really nice and toasty as well. And I just love the overall look. So I'm very happy with these guys. And if you are interested in test knitting this pattern here, I've got the test knitters for this already, but if you would be interested in test knitting a little pair of fingerless mitts, that'll only take about 30, say 40 grams to be on the safe side, but 30 or 40 grams of fingering weight yarn, then please do comment below or email me at naturallyknit@gmail.com. I'd love to get these patterns out to you guys as soon as possible. So yeah, I've got the cowl finished, and I've also got one mitten finished, and then in my beautiful little ceramic bowl that I was showing everybody on Instagram the other day, this is my yarn bowl, I have the second mitten, and I've just turned the picot edging, and I'm doing the 5 rows of rib at the moment, and this will be the right hand. So yeah, and then I'll write up the pattern and send it off to test knitters. I should pop you. So those are what I'm designing at the moment. I bought myself a lovely new sketchbook when I was in town, and just been having all of my notes for patterns in one place has been really helpful. I've got some, so my kind of proper written notes are in the front here, and then I've got some kind of just kind of basic sketches in the back. And so non-designing related, I have put a little bit of time into this. This is, I'm just looking at my computer because the pattern's there. This is Frances, and it's a Shibui pattern. I think the designer's name is Olga. Can't remember her last name. I'll write it on the description below. And I am knitting this really beautiful top out of Rosarius Damasco, which is an eco-friendly 70% cotton, 30% linen, and it's I think it's recycled materials. Recycled? Maybe not. Why are you eco-friendly? Maybe just because it's natural fibres. Portuguese brand of yarn, and they make really beautiful things, and it's this really kind of rustic, quite soft material, cotton and linen. And this is what I've got so far. And this is a really interesting pattern. It's worked from one shoulder cuff to the other shoulder cuff, kind of a crossbody. And that's how the material is looking so far. Kind of really beachy. I want to be able to wear this in India when I travel there, so I think I might be taking it with me. So it's got a really interesting construction, and I'm finding the pattern a little bit confusing at the moment, so I'm kind of having to wing it a little bit. But there is provisional cast-ons on both edges, and then this is the shoulder here. So that's going to be the shoulder, and then this down here is the kind of side of the body. And so far so good. I think I got 6 balls of the Damasco, and there is, I think I've got 6 balls, and there is 200 meters on each one. I might have 5 balls, I'm not sure. But yeah, so far so good. I'm really liking how it feels. It's very different to what I'm used to working with, so it's all good fun. And I'm just knitting these on, I think they're 4.5 or 4mm needles, and these are Knit Pro Novas. It's just living in this spotty little cotton bag. And the final thing that I've been working on, which is the biggest project, is my Find Your Fade, which is a pattern by Andrea Mowry that everybody is knitting at the moment. And this is what I've been using this new yarn with. It's massive, and it's very, very, very wild colours for me, which makes me a bit nervous, but I'm also really excited. I hope I wear it. It's one of those kind of just adventures. But this is where I'm at. You can see that this is the new yarn that I'm bringing in, and I'll see if I can show you the whole thing. So at the bottom there we've got Typewriter by Hedgehog Fibres, and then the next one, which is the really beautiful peachy coral, is Gregoria Fibres in her Madder colourway, which is a naturally dyed colour. And then next, which is the crazy speckled kind of pinky sploshy yellowy yarn, is Ren and Ollie, which is an Australian indie designer, and that's her Lollipop colourway. And then we've got the kind of mustardy colour is Pollen by Hedgehog Fibres, and then this colour here is some leftover Alegria by Manos del Uruguay, which is a fair trade Uruguayan company. And I knit a sample for the shop, Morris & Sons, and that was the leftovers. And then finally I've got this really beautiful kind of burnt, kind of coppery, orangey, corally colour here, which is Ironbark on the Down Under Bliss colourway by Fibre Revolution. And yeah, so I'm on the final colour. It's a really interesting shawl construction. Oh, I've got it the wrong way around. So it's got this central spine going down the middle here, which is a central decrease, and that starts moving towards the left-hand side. So I'm presuming what's going to happen is that this spine is going to end up just kind of meeting the edge, and then it's a triangular shawl, so that's the bottom peak just down there, and then I cast off along the rest of the edge. So I haven't got very far to go. I've got this many stitches left and it's a decrease every other row. So yeah, I'm enjoying working on that. It's really simple knitting, but let's see if I love when it's all bundled up and you can see all the different colours together. But you guys will know this is completely out of my comfort zone with colours. But yeah, it's really exciting. Adventure. So that is living in my little homemade project bag, which I love. Little mustard Aztec-y design. And I think that is everything that I've got to share with you guys. I'm going to try and get in one more podcast before I go away. We're actually flying a little bit later than planned, so we'll be flying to India on the 5th of February, and we'll be in India for about 6 weeks, and then we'll be in the UK for another month or 5 weeks, and we'll be back in Australia again on the 12th or 13th of May. So we're going to be away for a few months. My stepdad is going to be flying into Australia very shortly, in the next couple of days, and we're going to be hanging out for a few days and going and seeing the Tennis Open together, which will be so much fun. He's the first family member to come to Australia to visit. He's a professor of microbiology, and he's got a conference that he's talking at. So that's exciting. So we're going to hang out, and he's also bringing my birthday yarn. So excited. So my mum bought me some amazing yarn, and I will show you guys in the next podcast. I cannot wait. It's for a specific project which I'm going to be taking with me. Very exciting. So I don't know if you can hear the chickens, but they're going absolutely crazy. Somebody's on the favourite nesting site, I think. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I wish you guys a really wonderful day. I hope you're all keeping warm or keeping cool, depending on what side of the world you're on, and I will speak to you guys very soon. Until then, happy knitting!